This is Scotty and Andrew, and you're listening to Fun with Horror.
Well, hello, all you carnival barkers out there, and welcome to another beautiful episode of Fun with Horror, your bi-weekly movie review podcast in which my best friend Andrew and I take turns giving each other movies to watch, and then we discuss them the following week. We only have two rules here. Number one, whoever picks the movie has to pick a movie they've never seen, and number two, we both have to watch that godforsaken movie. Last week, I picked Tobe Hooper's 1981 horror movie, The Funhouse. As I said, it is directed by Tobe Hooper. Tobe Hooper, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, stay tuned to the end of the episode in which we get to hear the movie that Andrew, sweet Andrew, is going to pick for us. And of course, as always, if you enjoy the show, please go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave us a rating and a review, preferably a nice one, because it would really help us out. Without further ado, hi, sweet face.
Hi, adorable. How are you?
Oh, I'm good.
Good.
Happy Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Happy Halloween, man.
Yeah.
Today is Halloween.
Today is Halloween.
That's right.
Trick or treat.
That's right. Check your candy, people.
Check your candy.
Don't blow out the jack-o'-lanterns.
That makes me think of something, buddy.
What does it make you think of?
Well, this past week I watched Halloween 2.
Nice.
And I always it made me remember that when I was young, the part that scared me the most in that movie was not Michael Myers. It was the little kid that bit into the razor blade. And they go to the hospital, he's got the razor blade sticking out of his mouth.
Yes.
Do you remember that? Oh.
I do remember that.
That terrified me because that was something that stuck with me whenever I went trick-or-treating.
Oh, well, then let that be a lesson to kids. Have kids watch Halloween 2 so that they know to check their candy.
And to always shoot in the eyes.
That's right. And literally hit it in the eyes the first shot.
Both of them. There's two
Both
shots.
2 shots. Boom, boom.
Bam, bam. Some other news, buddy.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
Yes.
Fangoria magazine. They recruited some collaborators, and we were lucky enough to become one of them.
Woohoo!
So we are collaborating with Fangoria magazine, none other than Fangoria magazine.
Right. That's so awesome.
And what that means is that if you, our beautiful listeners, go to the Fango shop online, and at the end of your order, punch in the code. It's Fun with Horror Podcast, all capital letters, with an underscore in between each word. If you enter that in, you get 20% off your entire order.
Whoa.
Including first-time subscriptions. I don't think it counts if you're renewing, but first-time subscriptions to the magazine, 20% off.
Dang, man, that's a good deal.
It's a pretty good deal, especially if you're subscribing, because that can be pricey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty exciting. Also, if you look in the description of the podcast, the link is there, and if you just follow that link, it puts in the code for you, or you can enter the code yourself,
Nice.
whatever you want to do. And I hate to sound like a salesperson. You know, I hate to sound like a salesperson, but Fangoria is it's something that I've loved Fangoria magazine for many, many, many years, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And as
awesome.
you have too, my friend.
Yeah, dude. It's so cool. Seriously, thank you for doing the work on that. That is so cool. And
It was so much work.
You did the work on it, man. I know you did, and I appreciate it. But it's really cool that it's like, I mean, it's Fangoria. That's a big deal. That's really cool.
I think it's a big deal. I think it's pretty exciting myself.
I do too.
Oh, also, I should mention this. If anybody out there, if you buy stuff and punch in our code, we actually get a little kickback. So it helps us. It helps the podcast.
Yes.
So do that. Do it.
Else.
What else, buddy? Oh, I know what I was going to ask you. Have you watched Morbius yet?
Even though it's so easy to watch because it's there on Netflix, I have not. I don't have the courage yet to do it. What about you?
Here's what happened. It hit Netflix, and I was like, finally, it's free. I can watch it. But I didn't watch it, and for one reason, I did not want to raise its views number. I didn't want them to think it was more popular than it was.
Yes. Yeah.
But maybe now I can watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ugh, I don't know, man. I've just heard so much about that movie, and
I've heard so many bad things.
yeah, none of it good. Yeah.
But you got to see for yourself at some point, right?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, like we say, you can't, everyone, it's all subjective. It might be a great movie in my eyes. I don't know.
Yeah, what if we both love it?
And then I'd feel bad.
And then we followed it up with a double feature with the Munsters. Rob Zombie's The Munsters, and we love that too. What if we love them both?
Another one I'm very, very worried about watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is an audience for every movie.
That's true. That is absolutely true.
What were you about to say about the Munsters?
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, just watching the trailer itself, it was a little, for me personally, it was a little cringy.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, man. Maybe some point, we'll see.
Well, I'll tell you, the one thing that keeps me from going to that one and watching it is just that it's 2 hours long.
Is it really?
Yeah, and that's been one of the biggest complaints about the movie. I haven't seen it, so I can't judge it, but
right.
One of the bigger complaints is that even for people that enjoy the style and the nostalgia, they say it just wears out its welcome a little bit because it's so long. It should have been a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
But I want to see for
I feel
myself.
like an hour and a half is good.
Yes. An hour and a half. Just like the Funhouse.
Who will dare to face the challenge of the Funhouse? Who is mad enough to enter that world of darkness?
Something is alive in the Funhouse. Something not alive like its father. Something better dead. Something that has the form of a human, but not the face.
This better be good.
It's gonna be great. Something that feeds off the flesh and blood of young innocence.
Come on, here we go. This is it.
Something that tonight will turn the Funhouse into a carnival of terror.
I don't know what that thing is. I just want to get the hell out of here.
The Funhouse, coming soon from Universal Pictures. The Funhouse. It's a carnival of terror from Tobe Hooper, the director who terrified you with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Scotty, this is our Halloween episode, man.
Yeah.
And you brought us back in time a little bit, buddy.
A little bit, because even though it's been a year, our episode that aired right after Halloween last year was about a carnival type situation. It was a Halloween haunt, but it was Hellfest, and I thought let's stick with the theme and go to another carnival type thing.
I love it, man. You took us to a fun house. That's what you did.
Yeah, I did.
But, of course, before we jump into Tobe Hooper, that's right, the Tobe Hooper's Funhouse, the Funhouse. Everyone, if you have not seen this movie from, I believe, 1981, and you're okay with spoilers, stick around. If you don't want spoilers, hop on Peacock or rent it or buy it. I don't care what you do. And watch this movie and then jump back in and join us for the rest of the episode.
That almost sounded angry. Like, if you don't care about spoilers, just go hop on Peacock, why don't you?
Yeah, get out of here. Can't you see I don't want you anymore? No, that's from Lassie. Anyway. Good morning.
That's a deep cut, buddy.
That was a deep cut. Movie's messed up.
Anyway.
But, of course, there's your spoiler warning. But, Scotty, my question to you, are you ready to give us a 3-minute recap?
Yes, and I am very confident about this one.
I would hope so.
Not a very complicated movie.
It's really not.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, man.
Do it, man. Let's hear it.
Okay, wait. Let me reset my clock. Here we go.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry, go ahead.
so the Funhouse is basically about 4 young people. I think 3 of them are teenagers. One, maybe not. We've got Amy. We've got her first date, Buzz. We've got her friends, Liz and Richie. They all go to this carnival pretty late at night, I might add. And at some point, I'm just going to say they have a good little bit of fun. And at some point, Richie has the brilliant idea that they should go into the Funhouse, get out of the cars while it's going, and then spend the night in the Funhouse. It'll be fun, right? So they do this. And the next thing you know, they can see this room under the floorboards, and they see this Frankenstein character who is the assistant at the Funhouse kill this fortune teller lady. It's crazy. So then what ensues is the 4 young people trying to escape. They're not able to escape because all the doors are locked. Then they get back to their place, and now they're watching under the floorboards, and the carnival barker, or the Funhouse barker, it turns out he's this Frankenstein kid's dad. And he's berating him. He finds out that somebody stole the money. Spoilers, it was Richie. And then the Frankenstein guy goes into a rage, takes off his mask. Turns out he's a mutated person. He's a monster, I tell you. And then what ensues after that is yet again the 4 young ones trying to escape from the Funhouse, and they start to die. Richie gets hung and then axed in the head. Liz then falls through a hole in the floor, comes up against the monster who beats her to death. Then that just leaves Amy and Buzz. Well, Buzz comes up against the barker, has a fight, kills the barker, and then the monster appears. Well, the monster, I guess, shoots Buzz, maybe? We'll talk about that. And then chases Amy through the Funhouse. They end up in this gear room where Amy somehow outsmarts this monster and traps it between 2 gears. We assume the monster dies. The end of the movie, Amy walks out of a broken doorway and out into the carnival midway as everybody is tearing down the carnival to move to another town.
Dang. Look
There
at
we
that.
go. There we go. 2.5 minutes.
Perfect. That's what I got too. Look at that.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I guess, the next question, man, that everyone wants to know, what did you think of this movie?
Well, Andrew, I'm going to tell you, but I'm kind of curious about what you think too, but I'm going to tell you first.
Okay. Please do.
I thought this movie was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was middle of the line there. What about you?
I would say similar. I think I liked it maybe a little less than you, but it wasn't. It was just. There's some good cheese in it. I'll say that, which I appreciate. But one thing I wish is I had seen it when I was younger too. I feel like this
Same.
one would have been fun. Yeah.
I'm with
when
you.
I was littler. Totally. So. Yeah. Other than
Because
that.
you can tell it has that 80s nostalgia feel to it.
Totally. Yeah.
But yeah, it's. But I didn't grow up with it, so I didn't have that nostalgia.
Right, exactly. And I think I would have liked it a lot more. This would have been one I could have seen, like, if this had been one I'd seen as a kid, this is totally a movie I could have seen myself watching quite a bit more growing up, just because I'd grown up with it and it's kind of got that sentimental value. But as an adult watching it, I would say, like, I don't know. There's just, a lot of cheese to it, so.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Lay it on me.
And I don't know how much you'll agree with it, but I think the pacing and the story is what lacks.
Yes.
Because everything else is actually really great, in my opinion. I think
I would agree.
The acting is really good, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The cinematography was the highlight of the movie. I thought it was a beautifully shot movie.
Yeah.
And then the music is great, too.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I just thought that the story just got a little boring at times.
I agree. I completely agree. In fact, that's one of my notes. Is like, towards the beginning when they're going on rides, I was like, none of this is necessary.
Okay. See, that's where we're going to disagree.
Okay, interesting.
I actually kind of liked that section of the movie.
Really?
Okay, well, let me tell you this, young Andrew, because you are younger than me, which is what's so beautiful about this podcast, because we have generational differences in how we view things, you know?
Right.
How many like carnivals like that have you ever been to?
A few.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of them?
Oh, they're fun. Yeah, we have like where we're at. There's a fair, but it's essentially that.
Okay.
I mean,
well, then maybe we're not
big.
so far off here, because when I was growing up in Pensacola, Florida, we had the Pensacola Interstate Fair. I think they still do, but
nice.
I don't live there anymore, so I can't say that anymore. But anyway, I would go every single year.
Nice.
And so just them going to the carnival and having fun and doing what they're doing, it brought back memories of that. Not necessarily, smoking weed behind the tent or anything like that, but just the feel of a carnival. I think the movie captured that like perfectly.
I get that. I would agree that it does capture that, but I think for me, I was watching it as a horror film, so I'm sitting there like, well, I want to see some stuff. Let's get there. Come on, guys.
Totally get that. And I should have felt the same way, but I didn't. I strangely felt more bored after the horror started.
Funny, okay. And I will agree, there's definitely some moments after the horror starts where it does lag. For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for me though, I have that note of just them being on the rides, and I was like, all right, let's get to it. I'm waiting. Someone's got to die.
So this was directed by Tobe Hooper.
Right? Yeah, crazy.
It is crazy, and but I will say one thing: the whole stupid controversy over how much control he had as a director on Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Should absolutely be put to rest if people watch this movie. It's
fair.
It's not, the story obviously isn't as strong as Poltergeist.
Right.
But you can definitely see some of the movie making skill that he would bring to Poltergeist in the way he filmed some of these scenes. Mm-hmm. And in fact, even though it's not Jerry Goldsmith, it's John Beal composed the score. Mm-hmm. There's times when the score absolutely sounded like Poltergeist.
Nice. Oh, yeah. Dang, yeah, dude. That's true.
I mean, that's how I saw it. Maybe other people don't, but that's how I did.
Oh, that's a good point. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I totally could see that, though. I like that. Look at you.
Look at me. What did you think of the opening?
Oh, I love the opening. That was probably my favorite part of this movie.
The obvious Halloween homage.
Yes, but just seeing all those animatronics.
Oh, you're talking about you're going to the opening credits.
I'm doing. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm doing the credits though. Like that was awesome. I loved each of those animatronics. And I
Yes.
was like, this is so cool. And it got me really excited for the movie because it was so. They're all creepy, man. They're all creepy and eerie. And I was like, yes, if this is what the movie is, I'm on board.
I'm with you. Even though I was talking about the introductory scene, I love the opening
Yes.
credits.
Yes. Well, and yes, it was definitely Halloween. And Psycho was also thrown in there.
Yes.
But then I was like, I don't think I would ever do that to my sister when she's showering. I was like, that's a little weird, Joey.
Yeah, we'll talk about Joey in a second.
Yeah.
But I'm going to talk about something else that was cute.
Yeah.
Kind of cute. I guess you could call it cute. But did you notice? So when he was about to stab her with the fake knife in the shower,
Mhm.
did you notice she already had a little red mark on her skin where he stabbed her?
No.
Like, how many times have you done this take?
Right? Yeah. Well, Joey was probably screwing up the whole time. He's like, oh, shoot, I messed up. We're going to have to do this again.
He's like,
Darn.
he's just sitting there going, oh, boobies. Oh,
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so distracted. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, that was really good. Okay.
Thanks, man.
All right, well, let's talk about Joey real quick.
Yeah, let's talk about Joey.
Let's talk about that little waste of a character.
Yes.
What purpose
was
did
his
he
point?
serve?
None. There was no purpose. I really thought he would like save the day at the end or something.
Or
No.
or if it was more tropey, he would have become part of the peril. He would have been like something
Right.
that Amy had to rescue.
Right. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep. He was I don't even know why he was there. Like it made no sense. There's that creepy scene too where the guy's like, "Hey, little boy." Like in his
Yeah.
truck, and I was like, "Whoa, where are we going with this?" Like,
And
what
then the
is
next thing you
happening?
know, his parents are there, and it's like, oh, nothing creepy
Yeah.
happened at all. And for me, I think the only purpose it served was to show the frustrating scene where her parents are like right there, and they can't hear her
Right.
yelling through the fan.
Yep. That's
So-
yeah. I totally get that, but I was like, God, that's like 20 minutes. You could have just, well, maybe not quite 20, but that's a good chunk. That was really not necessary.
Oh, creepy! You're
Sorry,
talking about the
movie.
guy in the truck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
dude.
Yeah. It's because I
Where
thought
he like
the
pulls
guy
out a
that.
gun on him.
Yes. Yeah. That was so weird.
It was
But there
so
were
weird. I was like,
there were lots of
yeah.
little things like that in this movie that had no purpose.
Yeah.
Like
Yes. You're
the
right.
the two homeless people that were just in and out. Like there's the old lady. You know, God is watching you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there was the other homeless guy that like appeared at the beginning when they first get to the carnival and Amy walks into him. And
oh yeah, that's right. Yes.
yeah, and then he appears later just as something for the kid to bump into after the monster almost grabs him. And he runs into this bum and knocks him over, and then that's the last you see of the bum.
Yeah.
The bum,
Yep.
the homeless guy.
Yeah. Homeless guy. And even like the homeless lady, you see her at one point in the background when the girls are making the phone calls to their home to say, "Hey, I'm sleeping over at so-and-so's house." Like she's in the background like looking in the garbage, and I'm like expecting her to do something. No.
Oh, she was
Just there.
absolutely like she stopped and she was listening to them,
Right.
and it made no sense.
But then
Like,
nothing happens.
exactly.
It was so weird.
So yeah, there were little things like that were just like maybe in the movie just to add atmosphere, maybe.
Maybe. I'm wondering, like, is there a director's cut where they had more scenes or something, or?
Well,
I don't know, it was so weird.
I can tell you that I have the 4K Blu-ray of this movie, and it looks beautiful, first of all.
Nice.
And there's a nice commentary track with Tobe Hooper and a moderator, another guy. But there's no director's cut. So
Huh.
what we have is what we have.
Okay. Interesting.
So
Weird.
anyway, Joey's a horrible character. We've settled on that.
Yeah. No point.
Joey's room. I think it was Joey's room. Something made me think of you, buddy.
What was it?
The ventriloquist dummy's head.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
What'd you think of that?
I loved it. I thought that was awesome when he moved the eyes. I was like, yeah, dude. That's creepy.
See, I was hoping you weren't scared.
I wasn't. No, not anymore. I mean, ventriloquist dummies scared the crap out of me back in the day, but now I think they're creepy and cool. They're the right amount of eerie.
So, okay, so Amy is leaving her house. Her parents are overbearing parents. Pretty horrible
hold
parents,
on.
actually.
They're overbearing, but she's like, we're going out at 9 p.m. And he's like, all right.
Yeah.
He's like, wait.
What time is
What?
it? It's past 9 p.m. That was just weird. Like, she's going out past 9 o'clock. And then there's some other weird stuff that I can bring up now because they go to this carnival.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay, they go to the magician's show. So,
Right.
So what time do you
Dude.
think the magician show happened?
Like 9:30, 10? I don't know. It was
I would say
really
closer
late.
to 10 or so, like even 10:30.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
Yeah.
another show in 2 hours. And I'm like, oh, okay. What? 2 hours? Wow. That show's never happening.
Jeez. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it wasn't too
Especially
long after
since,
that.
Like,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. They closed the shop. Or
Yeah.
They closed the place.
So it's Amy's first date with Buzz, who I actually ended up kind of liking.
Yeah. Yep.
He looked like yet another character that looked like he was going to be a big kind of a douchebag dude, but he turned out to be a nice guy.
Right. Yeah, he wasn't bad. He was not bad.
Amy was played by Elizabeth Berridge, who I don't know if you recognized her, but I immediately recognized her from the movie Amadeus.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually have never seen that movie.
It's been a while, but she's memorable. She was the lead, so.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
And then there's Liz and Richie, her friends. And Richie was played by Miles Chapin, who was he was in a couple things. He was in a movie called Hair, which is one of my favorite musicals ever.
Really? I don't know that one.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that on our Fun with Musicals podcast. But he was also in Howard the
Yes,
Duck.
please. What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, of course he was. That's amazing.
But of course, and when they get to the carnival, the wonderful line, one of my favorite lines of the movie, he's talking about how terrific a guy Buzz seems to be, and Liz says, "You know, Richie, when you're stoned, Charles Manson's a really terrific guy."
Genius.
I also like that Buzz is telling a joke in the car. Wait, no. Was it Richie? Yeah, no, it was Buzz. Buzz was telling the joke in the car. And Amy was just
Oh, right,
kind of... Yeah, Amy was kind of over it. But then, they get to the carnival, and then... all this time has passed, and Buzz and Amy are on the Ferris wheel, and he's still trying to explain the joke to her.
He needs to work on his jokes, man.
The other... something I wanted to tell you, buddy,
Yeah.
is that I think you're an absolute pistol.
Thank you. Who says that? I don't remember that.
Liz does to Amy in the bathroom. She says,
Oh, right. Okay.
Buzz is such a hunk. He's an absolute pistol. I was like, I don't ever remember anybody saying that when I was a kid.
Maybe that was Tobe Hooper being like, I'm going to start something cool. I'm going to get a new
Maybe.
phrase out there.
Maybe. Pretty soon we're introduced to my favorite actor in the entire movie, Kevin Conway. He plays the carnival, the barker. Not just one barker, but all three of them. So.
Was he? Oh, okay.
And I
Weird.
didn't realize it. I was watching the movie the first time, and I thought to myself, is the same actor playing all three barkers? And then I looked it up later, and sure enough, he was. And evidently, he, according to Tobe Hooper, he only took the part on the condition that he could play all three of the barkers.
What? That's awesome.
Yeah, and there's actually even a nice little part close to when the carnival closes that shows like all three of the barkers, one after the other, and it's pretty cool.
Oh, I'll have to watch that part. I really didn't realize that was the same guy. I did think at one point they all look alike, but I didn't realize that was him. Although I will say my favorite line is like, alive, alive, alive.
Yes.
It's so awesome.
And the great thing, but that's the other thing about that, why I loved him so much, is that he played three completely different types of carnival barkers, and each one was very realistic.
Totally, dude. I could absolutely, see all of them at a carnival. Absolutely.
Yeah. Especially the alive, 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 and then the Funhouse barker.
Yes, yeah. For
like
sure.
that was so perfect because there's always a guy out there and he's just like, do you dare to come into the fun house of death? And he's talking real low, and it was just so perfect.
It was. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Now the fairs I went
happy.
to the fairs I went to never had a strip show. So
yeah, I thought that too when I was watching this. I was like, what kind of fair is this? Because I've never seen that before.
Well, I think older fairs did though.
Wow,
or
that's
older
crazy.
carnivals. Yeah.
Wow.
The cow, the deformities, when they go into the deformity tent, those cows were real.
I thought they might be.
Yeah,
I thought
like
so.
the first one is obviously real, and it's just like a cow with a cleft lip, and oh, it's so sad. It's so cute though. He just keeps licking his little nose. But then, the two-headed cow is actually a real cow deformed with two heads.
Crazy.
Right?
And I've heard of like cows like that and sheep and all that, so I figured it was real because it just looked too real. Like even though it looked very different, it looked, especially for an '81 movie. I was like, that's real.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Awesome. That's crazy.
Also, the little deformed baby, that was real. No, I'm kidding. That was fake.
Like, no.
That was fake. Rick Baker designed the creature and the effects in this movie. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. I love Rick Baker.
Also, I keep talking about the cinematography. Andrew Laszlo was a cinematographer. He also did The Warriors, First Blood, Inner Space, Star Trek V, First Contact. He did a lot of cool stuff. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, according to Tobe Hooper, it was The Warriors basically that got him the job because The Warriors had such colors in it, like popping colors, and so he wanted that for the Funhouse. And man, I can't stress enough. And the thing is, like, also I watched this movie twice, once on my Blu-ray and then once on Peacock. And the Blu-ray, the 4K transfer is absolutely impressive.
Nice.
The fact that a movie like this can look that beautiful is just unbelievable.
That's awesome.
So yeah, the magician. What did you think of the magician guy?
He was so creepy and weird. And I love too that like during like ADR later, all the lines that are coming out like, get a real job.
Oh
Where
yeah.
you going? It was like, what? This is so weird.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, he was creepy, man.
He was good though. Like he was a good,
yeah.
Character actor guy.
Yeah. Yep.
Another funny thing, so they sneak behind the strip show tent to get a peek.
Yeah.
And Liz goes around the corner, and I don't know if you noticed this, buddy. But she bumps into yet another homeless dude
Right, yes.
who, if you watch, and you watch without sound or anything, he's just looking through the hole in the tent, right?
Right.
But if you listen to the audio, there's absolutely the sound of somebody peeing, and then when he turns around, zipping up a zipper. But his hand is nowhere near his zipper. Like, it was so weird. I played it a couple times. I was like, what?
So random.
They just threw in the sound of peeing in a zipper. Just, I don't know. The freaking 80s.
Right. Or maybe it was two kids, one on top of the other, I don't know.
What?
Like,
Where was that going?
Like the old, where two kids are like looking in there trying to pretend to be an adult, and like the little.
Oh, yes. In the big trench coat.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And so it was like the
Okay.
one on the bottom that was zipping it up. We don't know. I
Okay,
don't know,
buddy.
dude.
Yeah,
I don't know where I'm going.
I'll just be doing the rest of this podcast by myself.
Yeah. Sorry. Bye.
All right, so let's get to the Funhouse, the titular Funhouse.
Yes. Yes.
I love that word, titular. What'd you think of the big lady over the
She was
Funhouse?
great too. It was honestly every animatronic on this. I was like, yes, these all
Right.
look cool. They all look creepy and fun. I loved them.
Before we go further, what did you think about the clown in the poster for the movie not even being a character in the movie at all?
Clown in the poster.
You know the clown?
I don't remember that. I guess.
When last week you looked up the poster for the movie?
Oh!
And there's
In
the
I
clown?
thought you meant in
Yeah.
the movie there was a poster.
No, the movie
Yes.
poster for this movie. It's a
Yeah,
clown, and
yep, never
there's no clown.
seen.
The only clowns in this movie are like the animatronic clowns.
Right, exactly. That is so funny. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I forgot about that clown. Oh my gosh.
But anyway, so they go in this funhouse. The funhouse was huge.
Yeah.
Man. But it made me think of something, and this is just a personal tidbit to my life.
Mm.
I never went in fun houses when I was a kid. Did you?
No, not at all, actually.
And it wasn't because I was scared, but I guess I was always told that they were just cheap and like the
Right.
outside was better than the inside.
Right, yeah, yep.
I don't think fun houses look nearly as good as the fun house in this movie looked,
I agree.
which had some very cool stuff like the big eye.
Oh, that was awesome. I love that.
Yeah, that was like, you'll never see that in a carnival fun house. And the little Humpty Dumpty dude,
Yes.
that was awesome.
It was. I'm serious. Every animatronic in this was so cool. Like, this would be a really, like, if there was ever, like, an auction for, like, old
yeah.
movie memorabilia, this one would be so sweet to get something from it.
Absolutely. So they go in the fun house. Speaking of the animatronics, they go
Yeah.
in the fun house, and then little Joey is outside watching for them to come out, and they don't.
Right.
And he just sits there like an idiot. Freaking Joey.
Useless.
That's right. On Fun with Horror, we don't like little kids.
That's right.
They're
Trying to have
useless. So the carnival closes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe my favorite scene in the entire movie. The all the different shots of all the animatronics shutting down.
Yes, yeah.
I love that moment.
was
Did it
cool.
remind you of anything at all?
You know what this whole movie reminded me of, to be honest?
What's that?
Tourist Trap.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. That's what I was getting at.
Yes, I knew you would. Yeah, there was definitely some moments where I was like, oh, this is like Tourist Trap, dude. I love it.
Yeah, the animatronics especially though. They
Yeah.
like when they were shutting down, it just reminded me of the mannequins in
Yep.
Tourist
Yes,
Trap.
exactly. Yep.
And for those that don't know, Tourist Trap is a movie that we discussed on our very first episode. Go back and listen. Plug.
That's right. Plug.
But going back to your original critique of this movie, it is 40 minutes into the movie
Yes.
when the carnival closes down and they
Yep.
are inside the funhouse.
In this
The-
hour and a half movie.
The titular funhouse.
Right.
Yes. So it's basically, like just under a half of the movie until they get into the funhouse and the real horror begins.
Right.
So they're watching as the assistant, the guy who was loading people into the cars at the funhouse, who was dressed as a little Frankenstein,
Right.
comes into his room underneath them with Madame Zena, the carnival fortune teller,
Right.
who he's trying to pay for sex,
Yes. Yeah.
and she gives him a little 3-second hand job,
Yeah. That's about
complete with wiping her hand off on the sheets, which was, I was like, oh, that's a nice touch. Good job. So this is the first death because he goes into a rage because he wanted sex.
Right.
Luckily, this movie didn't turn into a 70s exploitation movie.
Right. I
I-
know. I was worried about that a little bit. I went, uh-oh. But
Same,
it
buddy.
didn't.
Same.
Yep.
No, but he grabs her. He does rip her blouse a little bit,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
but then he pushes her into the electrical box, which sparks, and then he chokes her to death.
Right.
So that was Madame Zena's death.
Yeah. Yeah.
What'd you think of that scene?
That was crazy, man. I was like, wait, what? But like I said, I was happy they didn't go a certain route, which was good. But
Yeah.
I really wasn't expecting anyone from the carnival to die by a carnival worker. I thought, of the people that are going to die, it's going to be the teenagers that are going to do it. So it was a little shocking, to be honest. I kind of went,
Okay.
whoa, okay.
Yeah, a little bit, and I guess that's where the movie became what it became because, and part of maybe my disappointment,
Ah, okay.
slight disappointment, because I thought, especially the way they were setting up the homeless people and the weirdos, like I kind of thought the whole carnival was going to be evil.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
But the only true evil in this movie was the Funhouse Barker guy.
Yep.
The way he treated his son,
Right.
his mutated son.
Yes.
Even the mutated son was, he did some bad things for sure, but he wasn't
Right.
totally evil.
Right. He didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, and I didn't even catch it, but the Barker does tell him to kill the kids, basically.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah.
Because the backstory that we get is that something about the two girls who died a year ago in another
Oh,
town
right.
with this when the carnival was going through it. The father mentions it at the beginning of the movie, and then
Right.
the Barker kind of talks about these two little girls, and
Right.
almost like the creature killed them, and then the Barker covered it up for him.
Mm-hmm.
So then he's saying that the Barker at one point says something like, "You do this one last thing, and we're free."
Right.
I
Yep.
don't know.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. He's a little controlling.
Yeah, just a little crazy.
Yeah, a little nuts, but yeah.
But yeah, so our young heroes try to escape. Richie, what?
Is
Go
he
ahead.
unmasked at this point?
No, not
Okay.
just yet.
Okay, I couldn't quite remember. Okay.
I jumped ahead a little bit, but
Okay.
when the Barker is talking to him, he's unmasked. But after Xena dies, the young heroes try to escape.
Mm-hmm.
Richie says he's going to go into the room because they go past the room, and he says, "I'm just going to check to make sure she's dead."
Right.
But he actually goes in to steal all of the monsters' money,
Right.
which I assume also belongs to the Barker. So
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I knew he was up to something. I wasn't quite sure what. But I was like, well, he's not going to go look at the bodies. He's doing something else.
honestly, I don't think the first time I watched it, I was watching that closely because I had no
right.
idea he was up to something. I was like, that's
I don't
weird.
know. Yeah, but I was like, there's got to be something more to this. And then I thought he might be like, I thought at one point, oh, I bet he's actually one of the carnival workers and brought them here to die or something.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, but I was wrong.
No, what ends up happening is they go back to their little place, and the Barker comes in to the monster's room with the monster, and all that happens, and the monster's Frankenstein mask comes off, and it turns out that he's a mutated, horribly mutated person. What'd you
Right.
think about that?
I was like, oh boy. I mean, they could have gone so many routes there that I feel like if they had made him more Jason Voorhees kind of disfigurement or look, I would have been totally on board. But this was a monster movie. I mean, they made him like I don't know. It was just so random.
Yeah, he's even credited in IMDb as the monster.
No, yep, okay. Yeah, he's totally from like a monster movie. It's not like someone that has a disfigurement of some sort. It's a monster underneath that.
Yeah, which I don't know, man.
I don't know either.
It was good and bad at the same
Yeah.
time. Because it was a cool mask,
It was cool, yeah.
but it looked like
Yep.
a mask. And that was the
Yes.
part that I didn't like.
Yep.
So the guy who played the monster is Wayne Doba, who is actually a mime.
What?
Yeah, Tobe Hooper hired a mime to play the part.
I kind of love that. There's something beautiful about that.
Yeah, well, he wanted somebody that could, act with his body.
Right. I kind of love that, dude.
Yeah.
Ah.
So, yeah, I like the mask. Like I said, I like the design, but I didn't like that just the entire movie. It just felt like somebody in a mask.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. And it was
So-
stiff too. Like there wasn't, I felt like if his jaw really did move well, it might have been different. But it just, like you said, it's a mask, and it looks like a mask. That's all it looks like. So
Yeah.
a cool
yeah,
mask, but a mask.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one funny thing that it doesn't really matter, but I noticed that. So when the monster kills Xena, he shorts out all the lights in the power.
Right.
But then when Richie comes into the room, the lights are on. But then when the Barker comes into the room with the monster again, the lights are out, and the Barker makes a big deal about how there's no power.
Whoops.
So
Amazing.
anyway, so this is, I guess, at this point when the mask comes off, this is where the movie kind of really begins, like the horror
Right.
movie.
Yep.
And I will say one thing is that even though I never saw the movie when I was younger, the moment that the monster takes the mask off and he like goes, "Wee!"
Yeah.
That's kind of an iconic moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that shot of the monster's face, the first time we all see it, was a Fangoria magazine cover.
Oh, sweet.
And if you go shopping in the Fango shop, and 20% off.
All capital, fun _with _horror _podcast. 20% off, people.
20% off Fangoria magazine. Which featured the Funhouse on one of their covers. So then let's get back to worthless Joey,
Stupid Joey.
who gets captured outside. The monster tries to grab him from under the curtains. He bumps into the homeless guy like a little pinball.
Yep.
And then one of the carnival workers catches him.
Yeah.
Now, this is the only good part for Joey. Like, when the carnival worker catches him, the way Joey cries, he's like, "Wah, wah."
Yeah.
Like, it seemed real.
Yeah, that's true. Yep, I agree.
That was a horrible impression, but yeah, there was the one part that Joey seemed
It
really
was pretty
real.
good. Yeah. And I was worried too about him because that guy was creepy. So I was like, oh
Yes.
boy.
But
Like,
that's what I
It's
was.
gonna be weird.
That's what I was saying. So that guy was creepy, but then all of a sudden the parents are there, and whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
And those listening with headphones right now can hear Enzo Hilliard crying in the background.
That's right. He's upstairs with Mama. He's crying.
Aw.
Poor buddy.
What did you think of Richie's death?
I kind of loved it. like, because he first gets hung or strangled or whatever, but then I love that he's in the cart, and they think it's someone else, and Buzz, I think, is the one.
Yeah.
Buzz that hits him.
Buzz
I was
hits
like, oh, that's messed up. But I thought that was fun.
All right. Well, then Liz.
What do you think?
Oh, it was fine. It was cool.
Yeah.
I'm more interested to hear what you think right now. Liz falls down the hole.
Right.
And then, so what did you think of her death? Tell us about her death.
Oh, that was crazy too. Yeah, she's in the like air vent or whatever next to the
Right.
fan.
Which kind of
right,
reminded
and
me
then-
of Alien.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
a way
dude.
that the light was like flashing through the fan that reminded me
Oh,
of,
yeah.
of when he's in the tunnels in the air ducts in Alien.
Totally. That's awesome.
I don't think it
Good
was
shout
meant
out.
to be. They didn't mention it in the commentary, but
Okay. I like that though. But yeah, then the creature shows up and just kind of beats her to death. And again, I was worried about this scene too of what's going to happen.
Yes.
Because I'm like, we all know what he wanted earlier, and now he's in this room with this young girl, and I got a little nervous, but he beats her to death, but there was no more than that, which I was like, oh,
Well,
okay, great.
I
Right?
will say
Wasn't
though.
there, or am I wrong?
Well, no,
Okay.
nothing happens in that moment. But I will say that not too much later, Amy and Buzz are getting near one of the doors, and the barker shows up. And I can't remember the exact line, but he does say something that kind of implies that the creature had his way with her.
Ah, okay.
It's a general implication, and then, and then later Amy ends up in the creature's room, and Liz is in the room next to Xena. So
oh, that's right.
I'm
You're
going to
right.
say that nothing probably happened, but
Yeah,
it's
let's-
somewhat implied.
Okay.
If you want to make
we
this
as an
movie
audience do
a
not see it. Yeah.
yes, this movie is 1981, not 1979.
Right. Yes.
2 years earlier, and oof,
A different movie, people.
Last Carnival on the left.
Oh no. Oh no.
So here's the interesting thing, and this is the one. Besides him crying, this was like one of the only interesting parts of little Joey's
Arc.
presence in this movie. Yes, his character arc.
Right.
So the parents are there. They're putting Joey in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Amy is trying to scream for her father through this very loud fan. That is, it's not happening. Nobody can hear
Right.
her. But there's a moment when Joey is looking at the funhouse. He knows that they never came out. He saw them go in. He never saw them come out. And in his mind, he hears Amy berating him at the beginning of the movie, and he doesn't say a word.
Right. Yeah.
So not only is he worthless, but he probably caused the death of Buzz,
Right.
at least.
Yep. Yep. What a stinker.
That's not what you almost said.
That's not what I almost
Wow.
Oh no.
Takes
this
a
will
lot
not
to
be
make Andrew
explicit.
curse people.
Right.
And Joey almost did it.
Frickin' Joey, man.
There's a very cool shot of Amy and Buzz walking into the gorilla's mouth inside the funhouse.
Oh yes, that was cool. Yep.
That was a
I have
great
that
shot.
note.
So the barker shows up. Buzz fights the barker and impales him on this sword.
Oh yeah.
And that was cool, but what was even cooler, I thought, was when the Barker grabs Buzz and starts to pull him onto him.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought for sure that he was going to kill Buzz along with him.
Right.
But no, that doesn't happen. What happens?
That's what I was trying to remember. I was like, I remember that part, but then I remember him being dead in like the, I don't know, Frankenstein's arms, or not Frankenstein, but one of the animatronic arms.
Well, that's
I'm trying-
Buzz. I know what
Oh,
happens
yeah,
to
yeah.
Buzz, but I'm talking about the Barker, because the Barker's pulling. See, now I can't
Right.
remember.
I can't either. Shoot.
Our listeners can tell us, can remind us. Did Amy didn't? Oh wait, did Buzz shoot the Barker? Yeah, I think Buzz had the gun in his hand as well.
Right. That
And then
sounds right. Yeah.
He just goes. He shoots, and then the Barker's dead.
Right.
I think
That's
that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So then the monster jumps down from the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, so this is where I kind of lost interest in the movie, and I was like, okay, I'm ready for this to be over.
Uh-huh.
The monster jumps down from the ceiling, and Amy, at this point, she didn't run when the Barker came out, but this time she decides to run.
Right.
And she hears gunshots from the other room, and she decides to kind of stick around, and then, yeah, the animatronic comes into the room somehow.
Right. Yes.
With holding Buzz in its arms, dead Buzz.
Right.
So then the monster chases Amy through the funhouse. She ends up in the monster's room. She finds this secret little entrance that goes into this gear room that runs the funhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And both times I watched this movie, I kind of like blanked out at
Yeah.
this moment.
I did the same thing, dude.
Like,
That's
I
amazing.
remember, because it takes so long, and it's
Yes.
like, okay, we get it. But then she chains up the monster, and the monster's hanging from the little pulley thing.
Right. Right.
We see a box go through into the gears to show how powerful the gears are.
Right. Yeah.
They shred a box like that. Or boards, wooden boards. The monster is hanging from this thing, and then this was stupid horror movie person moment. I'm like, Amy, move away from the monster. Like, you can
Right,
sit
yes.
and look at it, but at least get out of arm's reach of it. But no, she has to like stay right there next to it, looking at it.
Yeah.
And of course it wakes up and it grabs her.
Right.
And there's a moment of tension. Do you think what's going to happen? But no, she pulls away from him, and the monster is pulled into the gears. And you see the monster thrashing and crying in the gears, and it's kind of a cool shot, right?
Yeah, I like that part. I thought that was cool. Yeah. I like the gear death.
The gear death. But then the movie cuts, and we're outside the funhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And this was something, luckily, that Tobe Hooper answered for me. Because I was like, oh, all of a sudden the doors are open, and Amy can just walk out.
Mm-hmm.
Did you realize why? Did you think
Was
about
it-
that at all?
Not really.
You were just done.
Yeah. I was like, all right, I'm ready for this to be over.
Well, evidently, according to Hooper, the cars were constantly like bumping up against the outer door that was closed, and
Oh.
they eventually broke through the door, and you can see like the cars like turned over and stuff.
Oh, funny. Okay. What did you think, though, of the last shot of her walking out, during daytime after
Yeah, you know I like those
long
shots. You know I like
I
those
know
shots.
you do. That was the first thing I thought of when I saw her doing that. I was like, oh, Scotty better like this ending.
I did, and I like the crane shot. It's like a high crane shot of her walking through the midway.
Right, yes.
And it also, yeah, like, I wish there was a little bit more, but I did notice people tearing down some of the parts of the carnival, and that also gave me I don't even know what the feeling is, but it's like, it's an all over kind of feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
And the carnival's going to go to another town after they find all the dead bodies inside the funhouse.
Right, yes.
So,
Oh my gosh.
but that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, dude. What a ride.
What a ride that movie was.
Oh my gosh, it's something, man. It's 80s cheese for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I have a few little notes that I took during the commentary track.
Oh yeah, please.
So, first of all, where do you think this movie was shot? You're not going to guess, but I'm going to ask you to guess.
Where it was shot?
Yeah.
Kansas.
Miami. You were
What?
close. You were close. But yeah, it was shot in Miami because
Shot in the dark.
I forget why, but yeah. So that's not
random.
really that interesting, I guess. But Tobe definitely admitted that the opening scene was a direct homage to John Carpenter and Halloween.
Nice. Awesome.
And Psycho in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that it was very interesting that Funhouse came out before Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Oh, right.
And I will also admit, and probably because I knew Tobe directed Texas Chainsaw, that the Barker berating the monster kind of reminded me of Leatherface getting berated.
Totally. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And lastly, one of my favorite little trivia tidbits that Tobe Hooper said, the part in the movie where they're getting stoned behind the tent, and this is not something you even think about when you're watching this movie, but it's a long shot, right? It's them smoking a joint and then them walking around and then around the corner of the tent and going back out into the midway. Tobe was talking about, like, we did about 5 takes of that, and it was a long take, and during the final take, as they're walking out, he's hearing screams from people, and it sounds like people like screaming and having fun on the rides and stuff. But what it actually was is that, you know, those carnival rides are only supposed to go for a couple minutes. But because they had to have the ride going for the entire take, people were screaming because they've been on that carnival ride that you see for like 15 minutes.
Oh my god.
And they were like puking and throwing up and screaming and like, get us off this.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
So
wow.
that was maybe my favorite little trivia
That
thing.
is brilliant. It's amazing.
Do you have anything else, or are you ready for the 3 questions?
I think I'm ready for 3 questions, man.
Let's do it.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3.
All right, question number 1, buddy. What was the best death/kill in this movie?
I think we're going to agree on this one, buddy. I think I'm going to go with Richie. Well, maybe. I don't know. I'm going with Richie.
No, I didn't. Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah, well, I
said
liked
the
Richie.
Creature.
The creature. What did you like about the creature's
I thought
death?
it was. I just liked the gears. I thought that was really messed up, and I was like, that would be a horrible way to go. But I thought it was all about it.
That
but
would be a
Richie's
horrible
good one.
way to
Yeah,
go.
dude, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I liked Richie because it was just such a double thing. Like, you thought it seemed like a boring death at first because he's just pulled up into the ceiling by a noose. But then
Right.
when they trick him and put him on the little cart and then Buzz axes him in the head.
Yeah.
And just the thought that Richie may have still been alive.
Right, exactly. Yes. Oof. You're right. That's good. But yeah, I like a gear death.
I like yours. I like yours too.
Thanks, man. Thank you. All right, man. Question number 2. Was this movie scary?
Yeah, no. Not in the least. I don't even
No.
This is one of those movies that I don't even know how it could be scary to anybody.
Right. Yeah.
But if the
I'm with you.
Funhouse
This
did
is-
scare anybody out there, please let us know. That would be amazing.
Oh, please. Yeah, that'd be awesome. And then question number 3, did you have fun with horror?
Kinda. I'm still
Yeah.
sticking with my original critique. I think it was 50-50. There's times I think,
Yeah.
I think the movie goes on a little bit longer than it should. And strangely, I liked the movie. I really liked the movie before the horror even begins.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, like I said, there's a lot of great things about this movie. The story and the plot and the pacing wasn't one of them to me. What about you, buddy?
Fair. Yeah. I'll say 50-50 as well. I mean, kind of, it was... There's, like, I could see myself watching it again at some point, just because it's a kind of ridiculous horror movie. But it's not in my top 10.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
Well, if you ever get to watch it again, I hope you get to watch it in 4K.
Yeah.
Because
that would be cool.
it really does bring out the beautiful cinematography by Andrew Laszlo. So
Nice. Maybe someday.
Maybe someday. Maybe you can watch it with Enzo someday.
Ooh.
And he'll be like, Daddy, this is the most boring movie. Shut up.
Yeah, right.
Can we watch
Why are you
Titanic
making
again?
So random.
Hey, you up there. Come on down now. I want to talk to you. Come on. Ain't nothing to be afraid of. I just want to have a few words with you. Come on, I just want to give you your lighter back. What are y'all doing up there? You know you're trespassing on private property. Come on. You're gonna have to come down sooner or later. Ain't no other way out of here. Come on now. Oh, there ain't no reason to be afraid of him. He's harmless. Once he's been fed.
Well, Andrew, we have had fun with horror. We have had fun in a fun house.
Ooh.
But now it's time to find out what movie we're going to be having fun with next.
So this one is one I saw the part of the trailer and then turned it off, actually, because it looked really cool and I didn't want anything spoiled. And it's just available to rent or purchase, or if you have HBO Max, you can watch it there. And that is Barbarian.
Yes. All right.
I want to see this bad.
I'll be honest with you, buddy. If you hadn't picked this one, I was kind of in a hurry to watch this one.
Nice. Okay, good.
I might have watched it on my own and then said, buddy, you're going to have to pick this one at some point.
Yeah. No, I really want to see this. It's an awesome cast. It looks like a cool, interesting story. I'm excited, man. I'm really excited for this one.
Me too.
Yes. Yay.
All right. So, and as you said, it's only available for purchase or rental right now, but it is available online, so I think you can go to
and
Prime.
if you have HBO Max, it's on there.
Did you say that already?
I did, yeah.
Oh my God!
But
I'm
that's
such
all
an
good,
idiot.
man.
Ziggy,
Yeah, no, you're
stop
not.
playing with the fan. He almost
You're
put his
distracted. That's all.
he put his paws in the fan almost.
Ziggy, gal. Maybe he needs a nail clip, and that was his way of doing it. Like,
Ziggy the horror cat.
If you want to
ladies
do
and gentlemen.
something right, you gotta do it yourself.
So yeah, my bad. It's on HBO Max. Sorry, I was distracted by Ziggy the horror cat.
Yes.
But yeah, so watch Barbarian. Now we are switching, at least temporarily, to bi-weekly. So the next episode will not come out for 2 weeks. So you have two whole weeks to watch Barbarian, friends.
Yes. Plenty of time to watch it.
And we'll let you know when and if we go back to a weekly schedule. But for now, we're going to be bi-weekly.
Yes. Thank you.
Andrew and I are coming out as weekly.
Weekly. Weekly.
So in 2 weeks, join us back here with Fun with Horror.
Yeah. Yes. But also, just another happy Halloween to you all.
Oh, yeah,
And that
happy
we love you dearly.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Go have fun tonight. Go get some candy. Scare some people. And just have fun with horror.
Yeah. Yeah, have fun with horror.
With horror. With horror.
With horror.
horror.
And if you see Winston out there, or Irving, if you
Tell
see
them
either
hello.
of them, tell them hello. They're probably sitting on their porch.
That's right. And they got dates for your kids to eat.
Yeah, not
Not
dates,
candy.
Not candy, not people dates.
No.
But dates.
No, the food. Yeah,
The
it helps
food.
helps them be regular.
It's a fruit, not a candy, Irving.
It's right. It's better for you.
Anyway,
That's right.
That's right. Buddy, I love you.
I love you too, man.
We never know how to end a podcast, but we're going to end it now.
Yep.
All right. Have a wonderful Halloween, my friend.
You too, buddy. I love you.
And everybody out there, thank you for listening. And we will talk to you. Well, we'll talk to you. You won't talk to us, but we will talk to you in 2 weeks.
That's right. Yes. Bye.
Bye.
So what do you think?
I think he's nice.
Nice. God, I think he's a hunk. He is an absolute pistol.